What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another special treat for you. A 4-man scramble featuring Tom, Kyle, Brian, and myself, Backwards K. Hole number 1 here is a 300-yard par 4. I hit my drive out way to the left. Brian and Kyle go into the trees, but thankfully Tom saves us and puts one right down the middle in the fairway, leaving us with an 80-yard shot in. Tom puts one on the back side of the green. Kyle hits his just a little bit left and a little short. I take my sand wedge here, pull it just a touch, leaving ourselves about a 20-foot birdie putt. I leave mine short. Brian makes a good run at it, just misses. Tom, it looks like, leaves his outside, but it curves back at the end and almost drops in for a birdie to start the day. And Kyle here leaves his just a little bit short, and we start with a par.
Hole number 2 is a 282-yard par 4 dogleg right. A couple of the guys get in a little bit of trouble off the tee here. Brian actually hits a good shot up and over the trees. And I hit a good driving iron right up the middle. We ended up taking my drive. We're 120 yards away here. Tom went just a little bit long. Brian hit his into the trees here as he's still getting a little bit loose. Kyle here plays a nice old slice into the green, and it lands on the front side. I'm hitting a pitching wedge here. Felt really good coming off the club face, and I had pretty high hopes. Doing a little bit of a club twirl there, and ended up putting it pretty close. We have this for a birdie look. And we don't capitalize. Hole number 3 here is a par 5, 491 yards. Brian tees off and pops it up just a little bit here. Kyle's lined up left and ends up going really far right. A little bit of a hat flip here. Tom pulls his into the trees but hits it a decent distance. I hit mine really hard, but it starts to turn over and heads into the trees. So we're in a bit of a difficult situation here to start because we're not really quite sure. So we end up taking my drive. I hit a 5-iron out and actually hit it over into the trees out of bounds. Brian here smartly plays one up the right side, gives us one in play. Kyle ends up hitting a really nice shot through the trees here up by the green, about 20 yards short. Tom here smokes a 5-iron on a great line and is just off the green, leaving us this chip for eagle. Tom sticks his really tight. We've got a good tap-in birdie at this chance now, so Kyle's going to go after it. We'll forget about that shot. And I end up sticking mine really, really close and lips out for eagle. Ugh. And Tom taps us in, and we got our first birdie. Hole number 4 here is a 337-yard dogleg left par 4. It really doesn't set up well for a driver for myself. Brian hits a nice drive, clears the left side of the trees. I end up cutting mine and end up buried beneath trees. Kyle has a bit of a crazy swing and loses it right. Tom hits a decent drive but actually ends up driving it through the fairway and isn't in a good spot. So we end up taking Brian's and have to punch. And those haven't been some pretty punches. Tom ends up putting his on a pretty good line, but ends up just shorted in the rough. And I do the exact same thing, leaving my punch shot just a bit short. So now we're scrambling to make a par. Tom puts his on a good line, so I can be more aggressive, and I roll it just a bit past, leaving us about an 8-footer for par. And I drain it. Sad, but we took a par. Hole number 5 here is a 291-yard par 4, huge dogleg right. Brian drove his through the fairway, really nice shot though. Kyle here also ended up driving his ball through the fairway and leaving us a bit of trouble. Tom here snapped his drive into the trees, so I decided to go with a 3-iron. Just put one out there in the middle, leaving us about 80 yards away and an open look. Brian here went with a lob wedge. Kyle here with a pitching wedge. Tom here with a sand wedge. It's on a good line. A little bit right and ends up leaving it for a long birdie putt. I hit a sand wedge on a little bit better line, leaving us a 20-foot birdie putt. Hole number 6 is a 148-yard par 3 over a large pond. Brian here is going with an 8-iron. Tom, though, hits a nice shot right on a good line just through the back of the green, but Kyle comes in clutch. Putting one on the green, and we have ourselves a birdie putt. Kyle puts us on a great line and drains it. Let's go. Hole number 7 is a 348-yard par 4 over a small stream. Trees out of bounds on the left. Brian here hits his to the left rough. Kyle here hits the trees on the left and drops down, not in a good spot. Tom here's ready to clutch up, and he does, smoking one right down the middle. I end up smoking that tree right on the right side and dropping down into the water. Thankfully, Tom, though, comes through. Tom here ends up just on the right side of the green, about 25 feet away. Kyle ends up topping his up the hill. Brian pulls his just a touch and ends up pin high left just off the fringe. I end up putting my 8-iron on the left side of the green about 30 feet away. So we go with Tom's shot in. Let's see if we can get a birdie streak going now. Kyle puts it on a good line and drops it. Oh! Hole number 8 is a 287-yard par 4. Brian here hits a small building. Kyle ends up putting his in the fairway and a good shot. Tom here loses his shot a little bit left and into the trees. Since Kyle V has his safe, I'm going to bomb a drive and end up pulling it just a little bit, but I'm pin high to the right, so we go with mine. And I have this chip shot behind this tree. Bounces up there and we have a decent birdie look. Kyle pitches his up there also really close. So we have two shots within about 10 feet. Brian drains it. 3 birdies in a row. Let's go. On to the final hole. Can we make another birdie? The last hole is 158 yards uphill. Brian just loses his a little bit. Tom's shot is on a really good line, but ends up being just a hair short and on the front fringe. Kyle loses his a little bit right. I've got a 7-iron in my hands and I'm feeling confident. Let's see if we can finish with another birdie. I put it on a great line, leaving ourselves about a 20-footer for birdie to finish strong. Thanks again for watching and have a great day. Backwards K out.